If you are a gifted person, it doesn't mean you got something. It means you can give something away. He who is afraid needs dependence, as a weakened man needs support. You ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. Unfortunately, there is no doubt about the fact that man is, as a whole, less good than he imagines himself or wants to be. Everyone carries a shadow. My friends, it is wise to nourish the soul. Otherwise you will breed dragons and devils in your heart. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. The pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. Every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol, morphine, or idealism. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. In all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order. There's no coming to consciousness without pain. Mistakes are, after all, the foundations of truth, and if a man does not know what a thing is, it is at least an increase in knowledge if he knows what it is not. Thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. Where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling. The greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. We cannot change anything unless we accept it. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. Shame is a soul-eating emotion. Through pride we are ever deceiving ourselves, but deep down, small voice says to us something is out of tune. The best political, social, and spiritual work we can do is to withdraw the projection of our shadow onto others. What you resist persists. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it. The reason for evil in the world is that people are not able to tell their stories. Nights through dreams tell the myths forgotten by the day. Every human life contains a potential. If that potential is not fulfilled, then that life was wasted. If one does not understand a person, one tends to regard him as a fool. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. If the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's. Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. The bigger the crowd, the more negligible the individual becomes. Sometimes you have to do something unforgivable just to be able to go on living. In each of us there is another whom we do not know. Life really does begin at 40. Up until then, you are just doing research. I don't aspire to be a good man. I aspire to be a whole man. The true leader is always led. We cannot change anything unless we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. Children are educated by what the grown-up is and not by his talk. Faith, hope, love, and insight are the highest achievements of human effort. They are found given by experience. Life is a battleground. It always has been, and always will be, and if it were not so, existence would come to an end. But if you have nothing at all to create, then perhaps you create yourself. Man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health. Fanaticism is always a sign of repressed doubt. What is not brought to consciousness comes to us as fate. The world will ask who you are, and if you do not know, the world will tell you. To be normal is the ideal aim for the unsuccessful. Like plants, so men also grow, some in the light, others in the shadows. There are many who need the shadows and not the light. If you think along the lines of nature, then you think properly. The paradox is one of our most valued spiritual possessions. We are always human, and we should never forget the burden of being only human. The fact is that each person has to do something different, something that is uniquely his own. Life calls not for perfection, but for completeness. You do not have an inferior function, it has you. For better to come, good must stand aside. The soul needs your recklessness, not your wisdom. The privilege of lifetime is to become who you truly are.